So after seeing one of my last videos, awesome subscriber reached out to me. He had the B&W Companion stationary base just sitting around that he needed to get rid of. We worked out a deal. It was on my way home. I got it picked up. As soon as I got home, I was eager to get it installed in the truck to make sure it was going to fit with my toolbox and my fuel tank. It did, like a glove, about with the same clearance as this one had whenever I put it in. And this thing, it's the first time it's been out since I installed it back a year and a half ago, however long it's been. It really didn't want to come out. I was really thankful I had the four-wheeler there with the winch up in the tree to help me get it out. And this thing here, it is so much lighter. I couldn't believe the difference just moving it around by hand. You know, I wouldn't have to have the four-wheeler to handle this one. If I need to get it out on the road so I could pull a gooseneck, I could. I'm just really excited to see how this is going to work out for me. Well, it is Monday morning. It's 34 degrees here in Elkhart, or White Pigeon, Michigan. And I found my unit. Double check my serial number. Gotta change my hitch out, put the weight distribution hitch on. This one's going to San Marcos, California, and I'm gonna give her a little walk around and see how everything looks. So I got my paperwork, and I also made sure and located my jack handle in case there is a flat, which we hope we don't have. This is a 29 footer, so maybe it'll be pretty easy on fuel. There's the hole that you use to get your spare tire down if you need it. Check the end caps to make sure, if it has them, that I get them and put them somewhere where they won't blow off. This one doesn't have them. Just looking for any sign of damages. Another guy that's here with me, he got here to pick his up last night, and it looked like somebody had backed it into something somewhere, and they knew they did it because they put a sticker on it trying to cover it up. So always check, especially the sides, for scuff marks where it could have been pulled in or pulled out somewhere else. And any kind of damages, always make sure and cover your butt. No end cap on this side either. It goes right in the bumper there. No flats. It's cold, my fingers are cold. I'm gonna go ahead and get my hitch put on, get hooked up, and I'll get back with you guys here in a little bit. Another little tip when you're backing up to hook a bumper pull trailer up. You go ahead and let your tailgate back like this and use this cable to hook it over and around these. So now that I'm in good shape with it, I can let it back down. So that is a little tip that I learned a long time ago. Also, don't forget to reach right up under here and check and make sure there's a bungee cord that holds this cover on, because it will blow off going down the road. If you have the saddles like this and you lose the pins out of it, I have been looking everywhere for the pins. I never would have thought you could have got them off Amazon, so I'll leave a link to these in the description. Alright, well, I am hooked up, ready to get out of here. Every light in the house is on. Took me a minute. If the dock lights are on, the lights on the front, usually you can open that door right there and get in to cut them off. And make one final walk around it. I know it don't help, but I like to push all those things closed. The window will blow them open again anyway. I'm just looking for scratches or anything I might not have been able to see while it was backed in the hole. And I've already came around and locked all the doors and torqued my lug nuts and all that stuff. All the doors is unlocked. Always make sure you lock all your doors. You don't want any hitchhikers and you don't want nothing to get stole. But I do believe we're ready to go. Well, now I'm ready. Well, makes you wonder if you don't want to walk around a couple more times. Now I'm ready. Leaving White Pigeon, I came over across through Elkhart and got on 31, and the wind was really kicking up, so I figured I might want to check it. This is with the Windy app, and a 45-mile-an-hour gust. That, so far, it's been the worst wind of the whole trip. It was really kicking. This is the wind compass app, and it showed about the same thing. 16.4 mile per hour steady sustained winds, but that gust is what you're looking for. Well, so last night I made it to Joplin. Left White Pigeon, made it to Joplin, and real smooth ride. Woke up this morning and just been dragging my feet. I've just not been in no big hurry. Come on down through Tulsa on 44. Get ready to go through and pay my toll now. The last toll on 44 before I get to Oklahoma City. And I haven't had breakfast yet. I haven't ate anything yet today, so I'm probably gonna stop to Big Texan over in Amarillo and get something to eat. I haven't been in there in a while. It's usually pretty good. So the one on the far right was open, but surely it won't take these guys too long. They've been sitting here long enough, I figured he'd already be gone. This is $12.25. Hi. Pretty good, how are you? Alright, thank you, you too. You know, I was thinking about getting one of the toll passes for out here, but it makes things so much more aggravating trying to wait on everything to come in and then turn it in to get reimbursed. It's just so much easier to get reimbursed with a toll ticket. I know a lot of times it's a whole lot faster to get through. Like if there's a backup or traffic or anything like that, it's so much faster to get through when you got an I-Pass or something like that. And I have an I-Pass, but it doesn't cover Oklahoma, Florida, and some other different states, Texas, different states like that. It basically covers your East Coast states, you know, except for Florida. I also have a Sun Pass for Florida, but I don't go Florida enough to use it. And like I say, it's just so much more convenient to get reimbursed by just getting the ticket, toll receipt, staying on, sending it on with your paperwork. But yeah, not really a whole lot to tell. It's been the wind yesterday coming out of Elkhart was pretty rough. I mean, it was actually really rough. It was the roughest I've seen it up there in a while for me, you know. But I'll tell you something I've noticed in the wind. I would rather have a 42-foot heavy tri-axle toy hauler than one of these little trailers like this. I know a lot of people when they get these little, this is 29 foot, so it's not super small, but that 17 foot I took it to Bakersfield not long ago. That thing was like flying a little kite. I mean, the wind really had its way with that little trailer, and this one, the wind has been a little bit more aggressive with, but when you step up into a fifth wheel, the main difference about pulling a fifth wheel and bumper pull like this to me is they're just a lot more stable. They put the weight up on the center of the truck and it when it pushes, it doesn't just swing the back of the truck one way or another. It actually forces it on the whole truck. And I did take out the sliding fifth wheel and changed over for a stationary, and I haven't had a chance to use it. I figured I would have got a fifth wheel on this first trip out, but after I changed it, but I didn't. This one was, I looked at some different loads. They had a lot of stuff on the board, and I could have went to Washington or Utah for the same or maybe even a little less money than I did this bumper pull. I may could have even got, I think there was one or two that was a little bit more money than the bumper pull. But to me, the weather, I've been seeing so much stuff with the weather going on up there. If you're wondering why I'm passing this guy on the right, I'm kind of having to assume that he's fixing to get off up here at the rest area, and he is just poking along. It's a left-hand exit. So now I try not to make a habit of passing folks on the right, but yeah, anyway, this was going to a little bit better area as far as the weather goes. I've been getting weather alerts all morning for places across I-80, and bang for my buck, this just paid as good as anything else would have anyway. So now, the last time I came out through here, I had a hard time getting fuel. I pulled up to Milan, New Mexico, Milan, Milan, however, a lot of different folks say it different. I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but I pulled in there and they were literally out of fuel. So I went across to the Loves and they had fuel, but I asked them when I got inside and they said that they had just gotten refueled. So that was why they had fuel and the Petro didn't, apparently. But then Holbrook, Arizona was limited to 60 gallons or $250. The Petro in Kingpin was only 2 fuel lanes open, and it was lined completely out to the interstate. It was just crazy. But I have a friend that is in California delivering right now, said they had no issues with fuel on the way out. Said it was, you know, said all the fuel lanes were open in Kingpin, and that's something I haven't seen in a while because of it. They say they're having a fuel shortage out there. Another thing is, I've been having a hard time finding Rotella oil. I can find it at the big truck stops for the big price, but as far as getting it at Walmart or anywhere like that, that is crazy to me. But I'm going to try to find some oil and kind of get stocked up for at least a couple of oil changes. Let's say we're not too far from I-44. We'll get down here, get through Oklahoma City, and as far as I know, my next stop will be in Amarillo to get fuel, pull across the street to the Big Tex and get something to eat, and then just see how far I make it tonight. I don't know. I would love to be on the other side of Albuquerque in the morning, but if it happens, it happens. Like I say, I'm not in a big hurry. So, new day, I made it to, from Joplin down to Amarillo, went in the Big Texan, got something to eat, went across the street to the TA and got fuel, and didn't make it very far. I made it over to Russell's right after you cross the New Mexico line and exit 369. Anyway, I've just not been doing very good at that getting up early and getting after the thing. I woke up, fumbled around the parking lot for a few minutes, and up here just now about to go into the port and get my permit. But thinking Kingman shouldn't be a big deal to make today, and that should put me in pretty good shape where I can get in there and get unloaded tomorrow. And I've not called this place yet, but I've delivered there so many times that I don't think they've really stressed about you calling. They just want you to call before you get there, you know, like a day, 24 hours before you get there. So I'll probably give them a call when I get out of here. When you pull up to the scale, make sure that next truck is off the scale before you pull onto it. Alright, so went inside my $29.20 and got my $29.20, got my permit. And now we're gonna get back on the road. Next stop will be Milan, New Mexico to get fuel, And the last time I was out through here, I pulled in there to get fuel. They were out. Every fuel island was closed. Went inside and asked them, did they know anything about when they get more fuel? They said, nope. No idea. But I did get enough at the Loves to get me on the Kingpin. And whenever I got the Kingpin, they had a little more fuel. But like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier in the video. Someone had told me, a friend of mine that went through yesterday told me that all the fuel lanes were open at Kingpin. That's a good deal. I've not seen all the fuel lines open at Kingpin because of them saying they had a fuel shortage in probably 2 months. You know, but I don't know. We'll see when we get there, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, I did replace the air filter. That's really the only thing that I've changed. The weather is cooler out. This thing has been running. Maybe it just needed a rest. Maybe I went home and took a few days off and it just got to rest up, because it had been getting fuel mileage seemed better. And just peppy as it ever was. I don't think I've ever seen a truck run this peppy. And you know, I'm not gonna say it's the air filter had anything to do with that. Changing over to the K&N, it could be the trailer, could just be an easier pulling unit. But man, it's like it's not even back there. Until the wind starts blowing. You know it's back there. But as far as holding the truck back, I don't know. I'm really happy with the way the truck is performing this trip out. Like I said, fuel mileage wise, and pulling a 29-foot camper, getting 10.5 miles a gallon, running 72 mile an hour. That's been basically my trip so far. And you know, that's pretty good, because I guess normally I pull the bigger, heavier units, and I've gotten used to getting 8.8 to anywhere between 8.5 to 10. So when I run this much of a trip and it's still sitting on 10.5, and I'm noticing when I pull in to get fuel that I'm not buying as much, you know, I'm not using as much. That's a good feeling. Also, it showed to be 49 degrees when I woke up this morning. It actually felt like 49 degrees this morning. I woke up yesterday morning, it said it was 30 degrees, it felt like 3. I don't know if I'm getting old, my blood's getting thinner or what. I used to run around in the snow in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and it never bothered me a bit. But me and cold weather's not agreeing here recently. I was sitting in the truck yesterday. Yesterday morning after I woke up and got out and walked around a little bit, I was going to do some videoing. Man, I got a chill and got back in the truck. I had my short sleeve shirt on, a hoodie on, a heated jacket, my Milwaukee heated jacket, and I had the heated seats on, and I was still at a chill. I don't know, I guess I'm just getting older. Coming into Santa Rosa, Google kept saying it was a 45-minute backup, and Google can be misleading sometimes, so I didn't really think much about it. And it was saying I would get to Milan at 4 something, I think, and I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it until I started seeing overhead signs over the road saying crash ahead, find alternate route, and all that stuff. So I got to looking, and I pulled off on the side on a ramp, and I looked, and it was showing to come US 54, I think is what I'm on, down to right here to 219 and turn right and go back. It's what Google wanted me to do. But after I looked, I saw this US 54 cut goes all the way across back over to 40. I think there's another 285 or something that you got to turn right on and then turn right back on 40. So that's going to be a good deal. But since we turned, all the big trucks up here in front of me, everybody has slowed down to like 45 and 50 mile an hour because the wind is just ridiculous. But it's not affecting me as bad as I thought it would, but there was a herd of tumbleweed come across the road back there a while ago, and it was crazy, and you could see how the wind was blowing. And if it would have gotten to be much worse, then I would have started getting nervous. But luckily, it's actually died off a lot, so that's a good deal. But always double check Google. Just because it says faster road available and turn here, turn there, don't do it. I'll do it when I'm empty, just because. Just never know what you might run across. It'd be pretty cool, but hey, you never know if you find a good way and you can remember it. A lot of times I write it down in a notebook. If I find something good like this right here, I will write this down, and that way if I come back across through here again and I'll see that there's a traffic backup or something like that, I can just pull out and go through my notebook. And you know, it's one of the things where you think, well, I know I took a detour there one time, let me look. And I write the exit number where I got off, the exit, you know, write down where I got back on, and you know, right out beside of it, really good road if you're loaded, good road if you're don't take a load, you know, but it's okay if you're something like that. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. It's been a really pretty ride. It's just, if it wasn't for the wind, it'd be great. But anyway, we'll get on over through here to 40, and it's saying now, where it was saying like I want to say it said like 420 or something like that, 421 or something, I would get to Milan. Now it's saying I'll be there by 3:30. Or no, it went to, when it was wanting me to turn back there, it was saying 3:30, and whenever I turned, when I decided to keep going straight and I passed by it, it's saying I'll be there at 2:50 now. So apparently, if Google knows what it's talking about, I saved a lot of time. I was wishing I'd have got the tumbleweed on camera back there, but you kind of see what I'm talking about right here. They're freaking everywhere. They're not as bad here as they were earlier on back, but it's crazy watching them things roll out and seeing cars just, now they're coming along, seeing cars just hit them wide open. That's pretty wild, which I know I've caught a few of them too. So when I took my little detour to go around my crash earlier, I wound up coming out at Clines Corner, New Mexico. That was actually a really good road, 54 down, and then I don't remember what the highway number was, but it brings you out at the exact exit that Clines Corner truck stops on. And it's smooth sailing over to Albuquerque, and came through Albuquerque, and the eastbound side had been a parking lot because of paving. That's all it is, two separate spots, so 139 and is where I ran into it, and it had been just almost bumper to bumper like it is over there now ever since. But on my side, luckily, I haven't seen anything really to worry about. Well, I've had to deal with slow moving traffic. That's going to be a mess on the way back tomorrow. The guy behind me just flying up behind me. Nice truck though. But yeah, it has been just a parking lot over there all the way across from Albuquerque. That don't look good. There's an oversized load sitting on her shoulder. Oh Lord, truck burnt down. Right lane closed 1 mile. Yep, I see it up there. But everything on my side has just been single filing down and running right through where we have lane closures. This is the third lane closure I've been through since I left Albuquerque, and then we just moved right on through it. But that stuff over there on the other side, it's been rough. That's probably the most scattered out I've seen it since I left Albuquerque. I know when I get ready to come back through myself, I'm gonna try to hit it at night after they're finished paving, because I know they were paving on this side, on the westbound side, the last time I came through here, and it took me like 4.5, maybe 5 hours to get from Albuquerque to Milan over here. But, so that being said, I'm about 40 miles from Milan, and I'm gonna stop and get fuel, get something to eat. Try to make it, I'll at least make it to Kingpin if I don't make it on further. I thought about it. I'm gonna get off right past the inspection station when you come into California and take that 5-mile road down to, I think it's 98, 95 or 98, whatever it is, and cut down to 10 that way. And that will, there's a crossroads down there. It's got the old fuel stop, got a big parking lot. Thought about trying to make it there tonight and sleep. That would put me in a whole lot better shape for in the morning. But I don't know, we'll just see how it all goes. There it is. Milan is out of fuel again. So, not sure what we'll do about that. Everybody's going there and making a U-turn, coming back out. So I pulled around the front parking lot, got out, walked my mile, went in, took a shower, got something to eat, and by the time I finished eating, they had fuel. So I went ahead and got some fuel and took off to Kingpin, where I stayed for the night. Well, ain't this something? The wind had been blowing a little bit, but I didn't think it's blowing near that hard. I looked back in the rear view, and all of a sudden I seen that go all at once. Dadgummit. So I guess I will get some pictures and call the company and see what they want me to do. But you can see what I was working with here, and it looked like it just pulled that first screw. The threads come out. So I called the company and sent them the pictures, and while I was waiting on them to get back with me, there was like 3 screws left holding that piece on. I went and took that off and put it in the bed of the truck. It barely fit under the bed cover, but I got it in under the bed cover, and waited for them to call back, and they said the dealer would accept it and just bring it on. So now Google says I'll arrive at 2:45, and they stopped receiving at 3. So I called, and they said just keep in touch with them, and you know, if I was going to be a couple minutes late, they'd try to make sure they had someone there to get it, and if it was going to be a lot late, to just hold up somewhere and bring it in the morning. But I really would like it off today. But you know, that wasn't from one wind gust. That was from, you know, 1,800 miles of wind gusts. It's been windy since I left Indiana. That wind coming down 31 after I left, after I left White Pigeon and come across, started down 31, and that wind was just really rough. I mean, it was way worse than it was this morning. And just, you know, you got something just sitting there shimmying and shaking going down the road with the wind blowing, crosswinds blowing. That last trip that I come out, I had a fifth wheel going to Bakersfield, and the wind was so strong, it kept blowing the steps out. It wasn't affecting my driving, but you would turn right into it, and I wound up having to put a bungee cord on the steps to keep them in. It was just catching it just right and pushing those steps out. So that the wind can really be hard on these things going down the road. And I also took pictures of the screws holding the skirt to the body, and they were sticking out anywhere from 1/16 to 1/4 of an inch, which made me feel like they weren't tight. And if they're not tight, you know, I understand if you tighten it all the way down, it can crease the skirt, but it lets it gives it more wiggle room and makes it easier to move. And I don't know, that just, didn't seem to be a really good design to me, but that's just me. And then as far as the little aluminum arm that you saw coming down where the actual screw was missing that let it pull out where the wind could get under it real good, I don't know what to say about that either. The screw wasn't broken off, it was actually gone. I feel like it backed out or pulled the threads out. When you look inside of it, there are threads there, but they're not deep like what they normally are when you put a self-tapping screw through aluminum. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it this time. I'll let you guys know how it comes out on my end. I asked her would that be counted as driver damage. I mean, I didn't hit anything or anything like that. The wind, just from sitting there shimmying and shaking, it just got a gap in it, and the wind got under it and blew it off. And, they said they'd let me know. Said it shouldn't be driver damage, but when you're doing stuff like this, when you're contracting and something happens, nobody wants to, it always comes back to the driver. So I'm kind of already expecting it to be put on me, and if it's not, that'll just be good. I don't really feel like it's driver damage, but if they say it is, there's really nothing I can do about it. So just go on by and try to. There's really nothing you can watch. You can't check every screw on one of these things when you pick it up. You just can't do it. And you can never foresee all the things that could happen before you leave. Just can't do it. Over 20 years experience in some kind of trucking, and you just can't do it. As soon as you think you got everything locked down and you're going to have a really good trip, that's when something happens that you would have never thought would have happened. I would have never dreamed that would have happened. But anyway, there's a Lowe's fuel tanker up here that I guess we're going to run 43 miles an hour all the way down to I-10. So here we are, all delivered, Holland RV, San Marcos, California. And yeah, they're getting it checked in. They did come out and get the piece from the side, and people ask me why I like coming out here so much. They were great. They were not mean or ugly at all about it. They took it in, said they'd get it fixed up, and stuff happens, don't worry about it, go on. So I'm delivered, everything's good. Got my paperwork here. It does not say no driver damage, but sometimes they don't put it, and it did say the metal skirt needed to be replaced. So that is what it is. I have to wait and see how that comes out. They're super nice. People ask me why do I keep running California over and over and over again. I really like this place right here. They're just super great people, and couldn't ask for a better place to deliver to, in my personal opinion and my experience with them. But yeah, so sometimes I've noticed in my years of trucking that sometimes people say part of it, don't worry about it, it happens, and then it comes back to bite you in the butt a couple of weeks later. So if anything else does come of it, I'll let you know in a later video. I really don't think they're going to hold this against me, because I mean, in all honesty, it was a win. So it would be different if there would have been marks where I would have hit something, or if I had have actually hit something, that would have been a little different. But I think this is going to be okay. And if something happens, it's not. If it comes back later on driver damage and they take my bond or whatever, I will let you guys know in the video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.